Hi, this is Sibila Extreme Vocal and ABC of distortion for fry scream, false chord, growl, and raspy singing for rock and heavy metal music. In this video I will present you the most important principles of any kind of extreme vocal technique. Simple, effective rules that will help you to get or to improve your present vocal style and technique. We will begin from the topic of breathing and posture, then we will talk about the breath support. Next topic is the voice emission and the way that our clean vocal habits affects our extreme vocals. And finally, we will reach to the point when I will explain you the most important things about getting and improving practicing your distortion. We will talk about fry scream, false chord, and how to get raspy singing voice. Breathing is pretty much the most basic activity in our life, yet it is fundamental for keeping us alive. And it is very good to learn the proper breathing habits because our breathing habits can decide whether we are destroying or improving our vocals day by day. So here we have some of the most important and simple rules about breathing. First of all, relax your shoulders, keep them naturally loose, don't raise them up while inhaling the air or exhaling the air while producing sound. When we do so, our breathing becomes shallow and the most of air goes to our upper part of lungs instead of going also to our lower part of lungs and our diaphragm. And the air in our diaphragm is essential for performing healthy and powerful breath support, which saves energy for our voice, for our larynx and vocal folds, because the most of the effort that is connected with the air management is done by our diaphragm and our belly muscles and even our lower back, so our throat and larynx can stay relaxed, especially while producing heavy and powerful, very loud sounds. So this is why it is good to keep our shoulders relaxed and put attention if our shoulders are raising up while inhaling or exhaling the air. When our shoulders are relaxed, it is easier to breathe more deep. And deep breathing helps us to fill our diaphragm with the air. Besides relaxing our shoulders and deep breathing, it is also good to observe our posture. And the rule here is pretty much simple. Just keep your back and your neck straight no matter the position you are into. So no matter you are standing still, sitting, jumping, you are running, you are in the mosh pit on your live performance, you are boxing, you are doing anything, just hold your back straight and keep your neck straight too, yet feel free and mobile at the same time. And the last one thing about breathing is to avoid inhaling too much air before making a sound and exhaling too much air while making the sound too. First of all, when I inhale too much air, I create tension, a tension that goes from my diaphragm, my belly muscles, to my chest and to my throat and of course to my larynx, and my vocal folds are clenched and there is too much pressure on them, there is too much tension, and I begin phrase from a setting like ha, ha. Even while I am talking with too much air, you will easily hear constrictions and tension in my throat. Now I have too much air and you can easily hear my tension in the throat and the pressure that is working on my larynx and vocal folds. The more air doesn't mean more power. The more air we will inhale, the more air we will get rid of with the next sound that we will produce. And now example with just enough amount of air. Summarizing the topic of our posture and breathing, no matter the position you are holding, just try to keep your back and neck straight. Relax your shoulders, breathe deep, breathe calm, and breathe in as often as it is possible with your nose and exhale the air with your mouth. When vocals are rushing forward, just take a quick zip of air like. You can check out if you are using your diaphragm by placing your hand in the area of your solar plexus and then try to inhale the air. If your hand is pushed a little bit forward, not too much, then you are using your diaphragm for breathing. And the next topic is the breath support. As I have mentioned before, the breath support engages our diaphragm, our belly muscles, especially in the area of our ribs, our upper belly muscles, and in the area of our solar plexus, and even our lower back into singing and screaming. The breath support works like a lever that helps our vocal folds and our larynx to lift very massive, very heavy sounds without putting too much strength and too much effort in that process. So we already know that the breath support is so wonderful tool, but how to get it? You can activate it by breathing exercises such as a While performing the most of breathing exercises, we are pretty much engaging all of the muscles that are responsible for performing healthy and powerful breath support. So it is good to practice your breathing even one time a week. The next question is how to activate our breath support while phonation and making specific sounds. There are two very simple ways. The first way is to begin with hissing like and to sustain the setting, the tension in our belly muscles area and to produce a sound on such setting. For example, ts, e, ts, e, ts, a, ts, a. You can also place a hand in the area of your solar plexus to check out if your belly is really working. Another very important thing about breath support is that you can also overdo it. When you clench your belly muscles too tight, when you squeeze your diaphragm, you will create a tension that will go from your belly straight to your throat, to your larynx, and you will clench your vocal folds as well too. And it will destroy your voice instead of saving your energy and the effort. And now I talk to you while I am squeezing and clenching my belly muscles like I wanted to break my ribs. When we are performing screaming or singing with distortion from the setting like our vocal folds are rubbing off each other and it is pretty much exhausting for our voice. It is destructive. So avoid clenching your belly muscles and squeezing your diaphragm. Use your breath support just enough for supporting the sound so it would sound powerful and effortless. To avoid squeezing your diaphragm and clenching your belly muscles too tight, it is good to practice breathing exercises because while breathing exercises, we use only such amount of tension that is necessary for producing a powerful and healthy, balanced breath support. And the second way of how to activate our breath support while making a specific sound is to use clean yell. But there are few important rules out there. The first rule is to project this sound from your belly. It is like we take the sound from our lower back or from our belly or our guts and we throw it far away through our mouth. Don't try to be too loud. Just project the sound with your belly. Try to hit it with your belly. Try to keep your throat relaxed, open, feel space and feel relaxed in the area of your throat and larynx. Okay, so you can repeat after me sounds like ha and hey. Ha. Ha, 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 hey, 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 hey. You can practice this also on the vowels. I, O, U, E, I, O, U. The great thing about that clean yell is that the sound is loud and the volume is high, yet the making of sound is pretty much effortless. The fourth topic of this video is our voice emission, the way that our basic vocal habits, the way that we treat our clean voice affects the way that we are screaming, growling or using any other types of nasty, dirty sounds. First of all, if we are doing anything wrong with our clean voice, it will be doubled when we will scream or growl on such unhealthy setting. Our basic vocal habits, the way that we are treating our clean voice, our basic vocal hygiene can determine whether we are destroying or improving our vocals day by day. So even if you don't want to sing or use your clean voice while making your daily music, it is good to learn, even on a basic level, voice emission and to build solid foundations, and these foundations will be our clean voice and basic vocal habits. With such solid foundations, when we will move into extreme types of sounds, we will perform them with more ease, more comfort, and the sound quality will be better, and we will fasten our vocal development too. And that's why even if you don't like clean singing and you won't sing clean in the future, you will focus just on screaming or growling or other dirty sounds, it is good to learn even on a basic level skill of how to produce sounds with ease, with comfort, and discomfort from clean voice will be moved easily into screaming and growling. Another important thing is that each of us begins own vocal adventure with some specific starter pack, and this starter pack includes our basic vocal range, our basic pitch, and our basic pack of sounds that we are most comfortable to make. And it is crucial to learn as much as it is possible about our own voice, about our basic range, and how to expand this range and which notes, which sounds are the most comfortable for us in the beginning to make. And when we already know it, it is easier for us to actually deal with our own instrument. We know exactly if we are better at highs, we are better at mids, we are better at lower sounds, maybe middle low, maybe middle high, who knows? For example, I want to scream very high, but does it match with my basic vocal range? Or am I supposed to stretch my vocal range toward higher notes to nail them with ease and comfort? So basically, before you even dare to scream or to growl and to choose a song that you want to nail firstly, just sit along the piano, or you can install even apps like virtual piano and check out if you are better at highs, lows or mids, and then depending on your basic vocal range, choose a tune, choose a song to practice. And if your range is not matching with your desires, with your aims to develop your vocals, for example, you want to scream very, very low, growl very low, then you can think of stretching and expanding your range week after week toward the notes that you want to hit. And by patient stretching of your range, you will not even notice when you will be able to easily nail the notes that you want to nail. You will get as low as you want to, but give yourself some patience, some time, and practice systematically. For example, when I have begun my vocal adventure, I wanted to sing and scream very, very high, like Chuck Schuldiner on The Sound of Perseverance, like Judas Priest, like Iron Maiden, and I really wanted to nail those high-pitched songs. And later it turned out that I am just in between some bass and baritone, and I have to develop my range to even to dare to scream higher and to use my head voice. So it was like a clash with reality, but I didn't give up. I just knew that I have to stick with what I already have. Low notes, mid notes. I could sing like Pearl Jam, not Alice in Chains, and I like Alice in Chains more. I could sing Godsmack, not Metallica, which I like more. I could growl D-side instead of performing The Sound of Perseverance song, like Bite the Pain, which I like more. I like more deaf than D-side, for example. And I just decided to stick with what I already had, and I tried to develop it to become the best with what I already have. Yet at the same time, I worked every day on my voice to develop my range toward higher notes, to scream higher, to sing higher, and to have more comfort and ease while hitting and nailing higher notes. And in the meantime, I began to like lower notes, lower growls, and lower singing, and I like it more now than high-pitched screams and singing. So focus on such aspects of your voice that you are the best at the present moment, but have those dreams, have those aims, and work on your voice every day and develop your range, develop your comfort zone, expand it higher and higher or lower and lower to the point that you want to achieve. It is just a matter of practice and patience and systematic work.
Where's the podcast? I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be me anymore. Memories is all that's left behind as I lie and wait to die. Releasing the demons again. Screaming for vengeance. Memories is all that's left behind as I lie and wait to die.
So shortly about the voice emission. First of all, our basic vocal habits, our vocal hygiene, the way we treat our clean voice will have huge impact on the quality, the comfort and the effort that will appear during screaming or singing with distortion or using growl or any other type of extreme sounds. So it is good to learn as much as it is possible about our own vocal instrument. To develop it in a healthy way, it is good to know what is our basic range, and from this point, our comfort zone, we can expand further and further, higher or lower, but we are doing it in a solid, fundamental way, not harming ourselves, not rushing blindly forward toward our aims. And our aims are very good to have, but rushing blindly forward toward them will make it harder to achieve them. And the last one thing about the voice emission I want to recommend you is to play with your voice. Play with your voice, it is very easy and funny thing to do, and it will provide you with bunch of very useful, very easy to get information about your basic vocal range, about the bunch of sounds that are very comfortable for you to make, and maybe you will achieve even a basic simple distortion when you will make a fun and when you will play with your own voice. So do some spontaneous, maybe crazy shit with your voice and you will surprise yourself with your natural abilities. No analysis, just breath support and making weird noises. Ah! Ah!